going to have to struggle, and I say struggle because that's what it is. You know, it's a struggle, not really for her, not just for her physical handicaps and what she may be limited to do or have to circumvent around or figure out how to do, um, but it's a struggle to kind of find your voice in a society that has its own idea of what's normal. Um, as her mom, I have seen her develop this sense of I'm different since she's started to since she hit 4. She was approaching 4. Before it was fine. We'd go to the park, you know, she'd see the other kids running around and she kind of just do her own thing. That was fine. She had this kind of like innocence about her, but now she's more aware that she does not move like the other kids, and she's become a little bit more um uh shy, you know, apprehensive about her movements when we're at the park. And it's important for me to have her go out there and kind of force her in and throw her in the water because she's going to have to advocate for herself. Um, so far, I'm very thankful that I've not encountered a young person coming up to her and being insensitive or making fun of her. She does have a brilliant personality. She's super funny, very smart, a smart aleck on top of that, and very, you know, has a quick wit about her. Um, and I think that that's helped her to kind of make these friendships and kind of assuage any um, negative behavior that might she might encounter with
Hmm.
any type of peer group. But to kind of bounce back to your question of why it's important for her to see these characters is because she needs to see that they are also in that same bucket that she's in, that she has a physical disability that does not allow her to move around like everyone else, but she has to navigate through this world just the same. She has watched, you know, shows like kitty shows like Daniel Tiger, who has a character on there. Her name is Chrissy, and they have not named her disability as I know of yet, but she does have braces just like Bebby has. She has the canes, the ankle, the wrist, uh, uh, crutches that they have and that help her to move about. So when she sees this character, she's like, "There's Chrissy," and Chrissy has braces, and I was like, "That's correct. She has braces just like you." And she's like, "She moves, you know, around slow." I was like, "That's right. She moves around slow because they talk about that in the show how, you know, all the kids are running fast, but she can't run fast. She has to move the way that she moves, but that doesn't mean that she can't play. She has to play differently."
Hmm.
Um, and that's great. But there are also shows that she has watched that aren't so candy coated either, that really show the negativeness that could happen in a situation in school or in a public place, whether it's from a kid, whether it's from an adult, which is the roughest thing because you think adults would know better.
Hmm.
Um, but those are the situations that I'm just like, and your kids learning from you this behavior, you know,
Right.
like this movie called Wonder. I don't know if you've seen that,
With
with
Jacob Tremblay from
yes,
Room,
yes,
right?
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
yeah. Watched that in the hospital with her when one of her stints there that she had last year, and I just it just struck my heart because as a parent, I worry about her going to school. You know, her first day or first week of beginning school in Berwyn, I almost pulled her out because I was just like, she's not going to fit in. The kids are going to make fun of her. No one's going to get her. You know, I rushed into this and this is not going to happen. And ended up, you know, calming down, stopped having a panic attack, and got through it. But this character that Bevy watched, she was too young to kind of remember it now, but this character had to fight with those battles. He had to be able to advocate for himself. He had to kind of, in a way, in a lot of ways, be a one up when it came on that emotional and psychological um, uh, pyramid from his peers, because he had to deal with all that negative and he had to figure out how to navigate his feelings around that. Not only in the home, or not only in school, but in home, having a sibling who what had normal physical capabilities, but he was this special child, and the other kid who had these normal capabilities was jealous of all the attention that the brother would get. And so with these shows, I want her to be able to see that she's not alone in
Mm-hmm.
this. I want her to be able to also see that there's like this full um this full this kind of like scale of emotional well-being that she's going to have to travel through in order to feel comfortable in this world. So those shows are really great for me. The Black Balloon is another show. It's a movie with a kid, or a kid, he's an adult actually, at this point, who he's autistic. Okay, nonverbal autism is what he has. And navigating that family. Toni Collette is in that
I
particular.
love Toni Collette.
I know,
It's
she's
called The Black
wonderful.
Balloon.
Yeah, Black
I have
Balloon.
to check that
And
out.
I watched this movie right around the time when she was born, when Bevy was born, because I also had to gain this kind of like inner strength for me to, as a parent, to deal with the fact that I have a child who has special needs, because it's a lot. Yes, the kid's going to take on a lot, but there is also an emotional and psychological story, that struggle that that parent is going through too. That the pictures that we post, on Instagram and Facebook, these are the positive, the highlights
Mm-hmm.
of these moments. But there are some other moments in there that are not so great. There are these moments, that like the moments in Black Balloon, where the mom just wants to sit down in a corner and just shut down, because it's a lot to deal with a kid who you wonder if one day they're going to hate you for bringing them into this world because they are disabled and they have to struggle so hard. These are
Mm-hmm.
the questions that, like, parents have, I would think, I know I've gone through, with myself. And so it's important for me, for her and myself and other people out there, to see that it's not just a struggle for the the kid. It is a whole unit of a
Mm-hmm.
struggle that a family's going to have to go with and go through. And that's what's important for me to be a part of this project, for people to see that um, there are these good moments, there are the funny moments, there are these quirky, beautiful things that these young people who have these developmental and mental disabilities have. But it's not to take lightly, because
Yeah.
they are still trying to make sense with what they're going through, and somehow getting up every morning to do their thing.